Chris Morris coming in for Sandeep Lamichhane for the Delhi Capitals. Now let's get the inside story from Shaun.
Inside
from the South African perspective in the World Cup, was he always someone who would have been in the reckoning?
He's always someone who's been in the reckoning, but to be honest, he hasn't been included in. I think he went to Australia was the last time he was actually included in an official one-day squad for South Africa, and that was about October last year. And then since then, he's just been playing the T20 format. And I think he's had a bit of a fallout maybe with the management and what they expect from him. He's that guy who's got that potential to be a world beater. You see him with the bat, play some innings, and you think, gee whiz, that's brilliant. And then with the ball, he gets bounce, he gets shape, he picks up wickets. You think he can be a superstar. He hasn't turned into that as yet for South Africa, and I think that's been the disappointment. And then from their side, they might feel like they've been let down a little bit by the way he's performed, rather than just looking and saying, well, let's just take what we get from him. Even if it's not a superstar level, it's still good enough to do a decent job at the international level. So they've left him out of the preliminary squad. There's been a lot of discussion about it, but I had him in my squad. There was the one person I did include compared to the 15 that they've picked as a preliminary, because I do feel he does give you a bit of X factor, and he's not going to play all the games. He probably played 2 of the World Cup games if he gets an opportunity, if people get injured. And with the experience that he's gathered in the RPLs and the different competitions, I think he was the one to talk to. They've gone for Nokia, who's only played 4 one-day internationals full stop. And was under a bit of an injury cloud, didn't come to the RPL because of that shoulder injury. But I think the thing for Morris too is he hasn't kicked on with his batting. We've seen some explosive innings from him in the years gone by, but we haven't seen anything from him this time round. And
that's what we've had from him this season.
Best of whatever, but that's not that impressive.
Yeah, and we remember him being explosive. And when you talk about X Factor, sitting on the outside just as a fan of the game, you'd look at him as a guy you'd want in your team because he's always trying, he's got those eyes, he's going at the opposition, and we've seen him when he's played for the Delhi Daredevils, he's had some explosive knocks.
Yeah, the energy that you talk about, I think that's what he brings in special. Any stage of the game, he's doing that. And what saddened me the other day, the last time he played for Delhi before this game, when he got out in the walk that he had back, you'd never seen him like that. You see, and he almost walked back, was dejected. Maybe he knew not about this, but that if he didn't do well, South Africa wasn't going to.
The squad had already been announced.
So he wanted to probably come out there and do something, and you saw him walk back, and you never see that with him. He's had bad days before. We've seen him in the last couple of years. He's always full of energy, and that spreads in that team as well. So if his energy goes down, then it probably affects the team. But if they've brought him back, there must be something special that we're going to see today. Because as a player, I always feel there are moments where the pressure, or you feel whether it's going to happen or not, doesn't get you. Some people don't get the best out at that time, and then when everything's lost, you suddenly come out and everything is expressed. And the last year when Delhi was struggling, he was the one holding fort at the end when everything was lost. So I'm just hoping that he's one of those guys that when everything's lost, he comes out better and fighting, and we might just see that today.
It might also have been a team strategy where they're saying, listen, Chris, you've got to perform better than what we've seen from you. We're going to sit you out this game and give you a chance just to think about it.
And then toss you the new ball next game?
Yeah, it's okay. Now we're back. We're believing in you. Come on, get out here and do us a job. So we're interesting to see how he goes.